Have you ever wondered why some people work hard for decades, yet remain trapped under constant financial pressure? While others seem to build wealth year after year, even when they don't earn significantly more money. What if I told you that the secret to wealth is not how much you earn, but how you manage what you earn? Nearly a century ago, the author of The Richest Man in Babylon introduced a set of remarkably simple financial principles. And despite the passage of time, these principles continue to help millions of people around the world escape financial stress and build a more secure future. In this summary, we'll uncover the timeless secrets that transformed an ordinary man into the richest man in Babylon. More importantly, you'll discover practical rules that anyone can apply, regardless of their current income level.
If you want to learn how to save money, make your money work for you, and avoid the mistakes that keep so many people trapped in debt and financial struggle, make sure you stay with us until the very end. Welcome to Quick Reads, the channel where we turn the world's most influential books on wealth, success, and personal growth into simple, practical lessons you can apply right away. Now, let's begin our journey through The Richest Man in Babylon.
Lesson 1. Pay yourself first. The Richest Man in Babylon begins with what may be the most important lesson in the entire book, the principle the author considered the foundation of every great fortune. The idea is incredibly simple. Keep a portion of everything you earn. At first, this advice may sound ordinary, but the truth is that most people do the exact opposite. The moment they receive their paycheck or business income, they start paying bills, covering expenses, buying things they want, and spending on everyday comforts. Then, by the end of the month, they realize there's nothing left to save. In the book, Arcad, the man who eventually became the richest man in Babylon, started out as an ordinary person. He didn't inherit a fortune, and he didn't own a massive business. But he learned one rule that completely changed his life.
He told himself, of every 10 coins I earn, only 9 are mine to spend. The 10th coin belongs to me, and I will keep it. And little by little, month after month, year after year, he began building his wealth. What's fascinating is that many people believe they'll start saving once they earn more money. But does that really happen? How many people started with a modest income, then doubled or even tripled their earnings, yet still found themselves dealing with the same financial stress? The problem is often not income itself. The real issue is the financial habits people develop over time.
Let's look at a real-life example. Imagine someone earning a steady monthly salary. Every month, nearly all of that income is spent, and then the countdown begins until the next paycheck arrives. 5 years later, that person is still standing in almost the exact same place financially. Now imagine another person earning the same amount of money. The difference is that from day one, they set aside 10% of every paycheck before spending anything else. At first, the amount may seem small, but over time, it grows into capital that could fund a small business, support a smart investment opportunity, or serve as a financial safety net during difficult times. And that's the powerful message this lesson is trying to teach us. Wealth doesn't begin with huge amounts of money. Wealth begins with a small habit repeated consistently over time.
If you can't keep 10% of your income today, it's unlikely you'll be able to manage great wealth tomorrow. So if you want to apply the first lesson of this book, start by setting aside 10% of your income before paying anyone else. Think of it as a bill that must be paid every month. The only difference is that this time you're paying yourself first. And once this habit becomes part of your life, you'll have laid the first stone on the road to financial freedom.
Lesson 2. Control your expenses. After Arcad learned how to keep a portion of everything he earned, he discovered another powerful truth.
Saving money alone is not enough if you spend the rest without thinking. And that brings us to the second lesson of the book: control your expenses. Many people believe that financial problems are caused solely by a lack of income. But have you ever wondered why some individuals struggle financially even though they earn a very good living? In many cases, the problem isn't a shortage of money, it's an excess of unnecessary spending. In the book, Arcot explains that human desires never truly end.
As income increases, so do the things we want to buy. And with every increase in earnings, new desires begin to appear, many of which suddenly feel like necessities. This is where many people fall into a dangerous trap. They confuse needs with wants. Needs are the things we genuinely require to live and function. Wants, on the other hand, are the things we would like to have, but can live without. Let's look at a common real-world example. Imagine someone who receives a raise after years of hard work. Instead of using that extra income to strengthen their financial future, they immediately upgrade their phone, even though the old one works perfectly fine. Then they sign up for additional subscriptions they rarely use. They begin dining out more often, spending more on entertainment, and gradually increasing their lifestyle, simply because they're earning more. A few months later, the raise seems to have disappeared. In fact, they're spending even more than before. Now consider someone else who receives the exact same raise.
But instead of spending automatically, they ask themselves a simple question: which expenses are truly necessary? And which expenses could I reduce without significantly affecting my quality of life? As soon as they start reviewing their spending habits, they discover that a surprising amount of money is quietly slipping away on things that add little real value to their life. And that's exactly what this lesson is trying to teach us. Money is rarely lost through one huge decision. More often, it's lost through dozens of small decisions, repeated every day. A subscription you never use. Impulse purchases you didn't really need. Frequent takeout meals. Or irresistible sales that convince you to buy something simply because it's discounted. Over time, these seemingly small expenses can add up to a substantial amount of money. Money that could have been used for far more important goals. The book is not telling you to deprive yourself of everything, nor is it encouraging a life of extreme frugality. Instead, it encourages conscious spending. It teaches you to direct your money toward the things that genuinely matter, rather than toward things that capture your attention for a moment and quickly lose their value. If you'd like to apply this lesson in your own life, try a simple exercise. Track every expense you make for one full month. By the end of that month, you'll likely be surprised by how much money was going to places you barely noticed.
And once you see where your money is actually going, you'll be in a much better position to take control of it. Because the path to wealth is not determined solely by how much you earn. It's also determined by how much you keep and how wisely you manage what remains. Lesson 3. Make your money work for you. Now that you've learned how to save a portion of your income and control your expenses, we arrive at the lesson that creates the real difference between people who simply save money and those who build lasting wealth year after year. This lesson can be summed up in a single sentence: make your money work for you. Most people spend their entire lives working for money. They wake up every morning, go to work, invest their time and energy, and earn an income in return.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But wealthy people understand something different. They don't just work for money. They make money work for them. In The Richest Man in Babylon, Arcad didn't stop at saving a tenth of everything he earned. He searched for ways to make those savings generate even more money. Then he found ways for those new earnings to generate even more income. Over time, the money he had saved continued working for him, even when he wasn't working himself. It sounds simple, but this is one of the most powerful secrets of wealth building. Because your time is limited. You can work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, or even 12 hours a day. But money never sleeps. It doesn't need weekends, vacations, or time off.
When invested wisely, it can continue growing around the clock. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine two people with exactly the same amount of savings. The first person leaves that money untouched for years without putting it to use. The second person invests part of it in a well-researched business opportunity, a productive asset, or an investment they genuinely understand. Several years later, the first person's money has barely changed. The second person's money, however, has been generating additional income the entire time. This is exactly what the book means when it says that gold should work hard for its owner. But there's an important warning here. The book does not encourage reckless risk-taking or chasing quick riches. Instead, it promotes thoughtful and intelligent investing. In one of the book's stories, Arcad made a costly mistake by trusting his money to someone who lacked expertise in the field they were investing in. The result was a financial loss. And from that mistake comes another valuable lesson. Not every investment is a good opportunity. And not everyone who promises profits deserves your trust. Before investing, you need to understand where your money is going, learn the fundamentals of that field, and seek advice from people with real experience. Let's consider another example that applies to everyday life. Some people save money for years and leave it sitting idle with no clear plan. Others use part of their savings to purchase equipment that helps them offer a new service, launch a small side business, or develop a skill that increases their earning potential. In that case, money becomes a tool for creating more money. And that's the essence of this lesson. Every dollar you save should become a worker on your behalf. And every new dollar that worker produces should go to work as well. Over time, this growing army of money can become a powerful source of financial strength. If you want to apply this lesson in your own life, ask yourself an important question. Is my money sleeping or is it working? Is it growing over time or is it standing still while the cost of living continues to rise? The moment you start looking for smart ways to make your money generate additional income, you move beyond simply saving and begin building real wealth. And that's when money starts working for you instead of you spending your entire life working for money.
Lesson 4. Protect your wealth from loss. Once you've learned how to save money, control your spending, and make your money work for you, it's easy to believe that the path to wealth is now completely clear. But The Richest Man in Babylon warns us about a very important reality. Earning money is difficult. Losing it can happen in an instant. That's why Arcad repeatedly emphasized that protecting wealth is just as important as building it. Many people succeed in accumulating money, yet fail to keep it. Not because they lack intelligence or work ethic, but because they make poor financial decisions driven by greed, excitement, or impatience. In one of the book's stories, Arcad wanted to grow his wealth quickly. So he entrusted part of his savings to a man who had little expertise in the field he was investing in. The promise sounded attractive. The potential profits seemed enormous. But the outcome was devastating. The money was lost, and no profit was ever made.
It was a painful mistake, but it taught Arcad a priceless lesson. If you want to protect your money, never hand it over to someone who doesn't truly know what they're doing.
How often do we hear stories of people losing years of savings because they were promised fast and easy returns? How many people invest in businesses they don't understand simply because they see others making money from them? And how many commit all of their savings without researching the opportunity, seeking advice, or understanding the risks involved? In many cases, the problem isn't the opportunity itself. The problem is entering it without enough knowledge and without consulting people who genuinely understand the field. Let's consider a real-life example. Imagine someone who has spent years building a healthy amount of savings. One day, a friend or acquaintance approaches them with what appears to be an incredible investment opportunity. The promised returns are huge. The timeline is short, and everyone seems excited about it. Without doing proper research, they jump in based purely on enthusiasm.
A few months later, the project fails, and a significant portion of their savings disappears. Now imagine another person faced with the exact same opportunity. Instead of rushing in, they begin asking questions. They research the investment. They seek advice from experienced professionals. They study the risks before focusing on the potential rewards. And only when they feel confident in their understanding do they move forward with a clear and thoughtful plan. That is the difference between a wise investor and a reckless gambler. A wise investor doesn't begin by asking, "How much money can I make?" They begin by asking, "How can I protect my money? What risks am I taking? And do I truly understand what I'm getting into?" Questions like these can save you from major financial losses in the future. One of the book's deeper lessons is that money favors caution. Money that is managed wisely tends to stay and grow. Money that chases unrealistic promises and get-rich-quick dreams often disappears. So if you want to apply this lesson in your own life, adopt a simple rule. Never invest in something you don't understand. And never make a major financial decision based on excitement, pressure, or fear of missing out. Take the time to learn. Ask questions. Verify the facts. A legitimate opportunity will withstand careful examination. A bad one usually tries to rush you into making a decision before you've had time to think. When you learn how to protect your money from unnecessary losses, you're doing more than preserving your current wealth. You're giving yourself a far greater chance to build even more wealth in the future. Because true wealth is measured not only by how much you earn, but also by how much you're able to keep. Lesson 5. Invest in yourself to increase your income. After learning how to save money, control your expenses, make your money work for you, and protect your wealth from loss, we arrive at what many consider one of the most valuable and life-changing lessons in the entire book. The lesson is simple. Invest in yourself first. Many people believe that wealth is built solely through money. But Arcad offers a completely different perspective. He teaches that your greatest source of wealth is not the money you currently possess, but the person you become. Money can be lost and earned again. But the knowledge, skills, and experience you gain stay with you and help you create wealth over and over again.
In the stories of the book, Arcad did not become wealthy overnight. He was committed to continuous learning and constantly sought wisdom from people who knew more than he did. He asked questions, learned from his mistakes, and continuously improved himself. With every new lesson, his ability to earn and manage money grew stronger. And this leads us to an important truth. Your income is often a reflection of the value you can provide to others. The more skills you develop, the more problems you can solve, and the more opportunities you'll have to increase your income. Let's look at a simple real-world example. Imagine two employees working at the same company. They both started at roughly the same time.
One of them decides that what he already knows is enough. He finishes work each day and goes home without learning anything new. The other employee takes a different approach. He dedicates part of his time to self-improvement. He reads books, learns new skills, takes courses, and constantly looks for ways to improve his performance. Several years later, who do you think will receive better opportunities? Who will be more valuable in the job market? And who is more likely to earn a higher income? The answer is obvious.
The person who invested in personal growth. And this principle extends far beyond employees. A business owner who learns modern marketing strategies will be better equipped to grow sales. An entrepreneur who develops leadership and management skills will be more capable of expanding a business. A skilled tradesperson who continues learning new techniques will become more valuable and more in demand. No matter the profession, the principle remains the same. The better you become, the greater your financial opportunities become. One mistake many people make is viewing learning as an expense. Wealthy people tend to see it as an investment. When you buy a valuable book, learn a high-demand skill, or gain new expertise, you're not simply spending money. You're increasing your ability to earn more in the future.
Imagine someone who spends a significant amount of money every year on temporary pleasures and short-lived luxuries. Now, imagine someone else who uses part of that same money to develop a skill that could create additional income for years to come. Given enough time, the difference becomes obvious. The first person purchased temporary enjoyment. The second person purchased an opportunity to transform their future. That's why the book emphasizes that people who continually invest in themselves become far more capable of recognizing opportunities and achieving financial success. The world is constantly changing. New opportunities emerge every day. But the people who benefit most from those opportunities are the ones who prepared themselves in advance.
If you want to apply this lesson in your own life, ask yourself an important question. What skill could I develop over the next few months that would increase my value or earning potential? Then take one small step today. Read a book, take a course, learn a new tool, or gain experience in an area that is valuable in today's marketplace. These actions may seem small right now, but over time, they can create an extraordinary difference in your life. And always remember this: the greatest asset you will ever own is not your bank account. It's your mind, your knowledge, and your skills. The more you invest in yourself, the greater your ability to build wealth and create the life you truly want.
Lesson 6. Consult experts before making financial decisions. We now arrive at the final lesson from the richest man in Babylon. And in many ways, this may be the lesson that protects you from losing years of effort, discipline, and savings. It is simple on the surface, yet extremely powerful in its impact. Seek advice from experienced people before making financial decisions. In everyday life, when we feel pain in a tooth, we go to a dentist. When our car breaks down, we look for a professional mechanic. Yet strangely, when it comes to money, one of the most important areas of life, many people take advice from just anyone. They rely on friends, relatives, or random online opinions without checking whether the source has real experience or expertise.
In The Richest Man in Babylon, Arcad emphasizes that financial wisdom does not come from random opinions. It comes from people who have real experience in the field you're entering. If you want to invest, learn from those who have successfully invested. If you want to start a business, study those who have built successful businesses. Relying on advice from people without real knowledge can easily lead to costly mistakes.
Let's imagine a situation. Someone has spent years saving money and has finally accumulated a decent amount. Then they hear about what seems like an amazing investment opportunity. The returns are huge. The promises are everywhere, and everyone around them seems excited about it. So they decide to jump in without proper research or consultation. A short time later, they discover that reality is very different from what they expected. And what looked like big profits turns into painful losses.
Now, imagine someone else in the same situation. But before investing, they start asking the right questions. What are the risks? What has happened in similar cases before? Does this opportunity match my financial situation? And who are the right people to guide me in this decision? Then they consult experienced individuals, learn from their insights, and understand the risks before committing any money.
In that case, even if the returns are not immediate or massive, the decision is far more stable and secure. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is that a wise person learns from their own mistakes, but a wiser person learns from the mistakes of others as well. So why pay the cost of experience yourself when you can learn from someone who has already walked the path? And this principle does not apply only to investments. It applies to every major financial decision in life. Buying a house, starting a business, entering a partnership, or even changing your career path. All of these decisions become far better when they are based on knowledge and experience rather than assumptions and guesses.
If you want to apply this lesson in practice, adopt a simple rule. Whenever you face an important financial decision, first look for someone with real experience in that field. Listen to them, ask questions, understand the risks, and then make your decision based on knowledge, not emotion. Because money requires wisdom just as much as it requires effort. And good decisions are not made by luck, but by learning, consultation, and clear thinking. And with that, we reach the final lesson that shaped Arcad into the richest man in Babylon. But one important question remains. How can we combine all these lessons into our daily lives and turn them into practical steps toward financial freedom? That is what we will discover in the conclusion.
We've now reached the end of our journey through the richest man in Babylon. But in reality, this is not an ending. It's the beginning of a completely new way of understanding money and life. We've seen that wealth does not come from luck or high income, but from small habits repeated consistently every single day. From saving a portion of your income, to controlling your expenses, to making your money work for you, to protecting it from losses, to investing in yourself, and finally, to seeking guidance from experienced people. All of these principles are not just theories, they form a complete system for building a stable financial life. And the real question now is not, what did we learn? But rather, what are we going to apply? Because the difference between someone who knows and someone who succeeds is simply application.
Now, let's summarize the most important practical lessons from this book. 1. Pay yourself first and always keep at least 10% of your income. 2. Do not allow your expenses to rise uncontrollably with your income. 3. Put part of your money into well-planned investments or productive opportunities. 4. Never risk your money on things you do not understand. 5. Invest in yourself first because you are your true source of income. 6. Keep learning continuously because knowledge increases your value in the market. 7. Never make major financial decisions without consulting experienced people. 8. The difference between rich and poor is not just money, but mindset. 9. Money requires wise management more than hard labor.
10. Wealth is built step by step, not through a single decision.
Now that you know these principles, imagine your life if you applied just one of them starting this month. How would your relationship with money change in 1 year? Where would you be in 5 years if you stayed consistent with these rules? In the end, the richest man in Babylon does not offer a magical formula for becoming rich. Instead, it offers something far more powerful: a way of thinking. A mindset that, if followed, can transform your entire financial life. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to subscribe to Quick Reads. We bring you the best books on money and personal development, broken down into simple, practical lessons you can actually use in your life. And if you want me to summarize another book or go deeper into any idea from this one, let me know in the comments. See you in the next video and in another book that can change the way you think.